Okay, the clock has just struck 10, so I guess we'll get started here. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'm really excited about today's webinar here with Joe. Before I get into my introduction, I'm just going to share a few housekeeping items so that you know when the recording is coming and what to expect from the next 30 minutes. Okay, so I am an account manager here with Rezgo. My name is Tova. So it's a pleasure to meet you. I see some very familiar names here in the participants list, so it's possible that I'm your account manager. It's nice to see you here. And we have joining us today Joe Martin. He is the founder of Up Level Tourism. He's hosted many webinars, TED Talk, and more. So we're very excited to have him back on today. Thanks, Joe, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and just a quick few notes for everyone joining. You'll notice your mic and your camera is off, so please feel free to use the Q&A chat if you have a question. We are going to pause as we go along with the webinar, so feel free to send any questions that come up. And then if you have any Rezgo related questions after this, feel free to contact us at support@rezgo.com and we will have a team member get in touch with you. So Joe, I will let you take it away.
Oh, let me take it away. I'm gonna start it off. I was gonna start it off here actually. Since I'm Chicago, I can start this off with showing everyone a little bit of the great green Chicago River here. So, friends, welcome to your little taste of Chicago this March. I am Joe Martin, as it was introduced here, and my primary focus is actually helping tour operators book more corporate groups. And a component of doing that is some of the work that we help clients do in this email marketing side. And so I wanted to take you through some ideas today around things you can start doing with email marketing and not necessarily, hey, blasting out everyone on my list with one message, but how do we start to find some smaller ways to use some email marketing here to help you start booking more groups, booking more tourists, whatever that is. So we're going to dive into some different ideas there. So thank you again, Rezgo, for hosting this, putting all the work in and getting this thing together. Fantastic to be back here again, doing another webinar with you all. And today, strategic email marketing. Let's dig in. And I want to start with this idea behind how we can use email marketing sometimes. And it comes from this book called The Like Switch about an FBI agent and how he would get people to kind of flip sides on their government to become a spy. Fascinating book if you ever get the chance to read it. But one of the ways that I relate this back to email marketing is he talks about when you're trying to approach someone, he can't just go walk up to them and say, "Hey, do you want to switch sides on your government and all of a sudden work for us and tell us all your secrets?" It doesn't work that way. And so what he talks about in the book is the way he would have to do this is that he would start by just being seen by the person, just being in their hemisphere somewhere. Maybe that person would see them at the park. They'd see them buying groceries at the store. They'd see them at the local convenience store getting gas. Whatever it was, the first concept there was just visibility before he could go in and start talking to them and start approaching them. And so many times that's what we can use email marketing for. Just visibility. We're just here. We're just doing this stuff that we don't always cut through the same way on Facebook, on YouTube, on social media platforms. It's not as impactful. And this marketing man, Joe Paluzzi, has his little yay boo scale that he kind of points out of what are some of the better spots to be grabbing people and being able to communicate more with them. Because we know on social media platforms, every message doesn't get through. They're going to see some of your stuff, not all of your stuff. But email subscribers, unless you're going into their spam, they're going to at least see the subject line that you're putting out there. It's a chance to get directly back in front of these people. And that's one of the most powerful things about email marketing and why so many marketers like to push this email marketing component so much because it's such an effective communication platform. So today, moving your knowledge on up, I want to talk a little bit about segmentation. Then we're going to talk about cold outreach, automations, and finally some re-engagement here. So four main areas I kind of want to get into today, not to overwhelm you, just to get you started and get you in a real good spot. So I want to start with segmentation, which is just a fancy way of saying splitting your contacts into different categories. Why? Why do we segment? Because we don't want to say the same thing to every single person. It's because we want to have different conversations with different people. When we look at a lot of the concepts behind conversion rate optimization and how we can sell more through online, a lot of those situations are by being more personal. No one wants to feel blanketed sold to. They want to know that it's specific. They want to know it's for them. So by splitting contacts into different categories, we can start to get some of that to come through. And that's what allows us to send the right messages to the right people at the right time. That's personalization and segmenting. Knowing who we're talking to in different groups helps us do that. There's three groups we want you to focus on. And the reason that we're going to break it into three is, again, I want to focus on who first. So let's start with a couple major groups because we're going to go back to this man, Mr. Claude Hopkins, one of the grandfathers of advertising, who simply said, win one before you go after thousands. Let's learn how to win one. Let's learn how to speak to one person instead of this blanket speaking to everyone else. That things shift so much for your marketing and your messaging and the conversions when you start thinking of it less as how do I market to people and more about how do I help a person. And so making it one person on their side can start to make it so much easier to know what to say and what needs to happen. And so those three segments that I want you to focus on to begin with. First one, visitors. Anyone that's not in the area, which is going to be the opposite of people in the area versus locals. I know this can be a little difficult to capture sometimes of who's a visitor, who's a local. I know that there's more tools coming out every day that help make some of this stuff a little more easier. But these are the two main conversations that you're going to have separate from each other between a visitor and a local. The third segment that I think you need, I am incredibly biased on this one. I think that there also needs to be specifically a corporate group segment in your emails there as well. And these are just a couple of them. This can get broken down. We can do this so many ways in terms of segments of past guests, people that have only signed up on your mailing list through your website but haven't actually taken a tour. You can have a mailing list segment specifically for just your partners and your vendors. The list goes on and on of the ways that you can break this down. But I want to start with you, make it a little easier. Let's just focus on these three to begin with. And so, with that visitor segment, what we want to say to them is we want to encourage them to tell others. We want to encourage them to post on social media. We're not likely to get another booking out of some of those public tourists that are coming on the tour since they may not be coming back again. They may not know very many people in the area, but as they're out, as they're exploring, and as we push people to take tours at the beginning of their trip, let's them encourage them to post on social media, tell others about this. We get so concerned sometimes about posting on social media ourselves, but what are we doing to encourage others? What are we doing to encourage guests to post on social media on our behalf? How do we get someone else talking about us instead of us talking about ourselves all the time? So visitors, that's the segment. That's some of the messaging I want to push to them. On that local side, I want to encourage them to book a private event. And I want to encourage them to say, hey, we also do these incredible team outings. Do you know we do this? You're here, you're local, you probably work in the area. Let's get you to come back out again. So, two different conversations based on who we're talking to that's going to convert higher for us. And on that corporate side, if we're following up with any of those corporate or private groups, we want to ask for referrals. Who else do you know? You're in this area. You are a company. You have to know other companies or other people at companies in this area. Who else do you know? And hey, do you want to get stuff booked again for next year? Because I know you had an amazing time on our experience and I want to get you back out here again. So, segmenting, those are the three big segments that I want to look at for everything. Next, I want to move on to a little bit about cold outreach. And for this one, we can't really do cold outreach around tourists. That one's so hard, and there's so much in the way of stuff like that, and it's going to be so much applied effort to just sell one or two tickets at a time. I can't. So when we talk about cold outreach today, I specifically want to talk about cold outreach to win more groups. How do we get more of those bulk bookings in through some of this cold outreach? So cold outreach, when it's done right, it's not spam. It's an invitation that we live in a bit of a world now where people want to discover and find those new things. It gets so hard because those channels are so saturated with so much content that even trying to get your own stuff to cut through to get to tourists on social media platforms is difficult. Trying to cut through on search engines, even more difficult. Thanks, TripAdvisor. It's so hard to get seen by some of these people. A cold email, when it's done right, you're bringing someone an offer. And when you're a little more targeted on your list, you're not wasting everyone's time. So I want to make sure that when we do some of that cold outreach, we know kind of who we're talking to. We know who's on the other side of that, and we know what offer we want to put out there for them. Most tour operators are doing cold outreach, mostly because I think a lot of us hate cold outreach. We hate when those terrible messages show up inside of our inbox and we hit delete and we wonder how in the hell they got our information to begin with. And we hope they never get it again. And so we just delete those emails. So many of us are on the bad end of email marketing that it makes us feel like email marketing can't possibly be a good channel. But when we're getting this out there as an invitation, when we're bringing someone forward, then we're in a better spot with this. And many of the tour leaders and tour operators and owners, it's your job to get in front of the right people. This is what you're trying to do with your offer. This is what we're trying to put out there. And so let's find ways to get in front of the right people. And sometimes cold outreach can be that way that's going to help us get in front of them and then be able to say the right things. That so many of these groups, they're planning something. You're helping them plan that event easier. You are a service. You are amazing at what you do. And for so many of these companies, they may not have thought about tours as something that they would do necessarily, because there's still this stigma around tours are for tourists. But you're an experience company. You provide amazing experiences for people. And sometimes people don't even know that experience exists. There's a lot of the food tours that we work with, and it's crazy that people still don't know what food tours are, but they don't always know how it's applicable to them. And so you're bringing this to them. You're bringing them something of value. Keep that in mind when you think about that cold outreach. It's not spam. It's not always invading them. You're bringing them something of value. And I wanted to give a little list here of some places that you can start to track down cold email addresses. I got a bunch of them. If there's a time to take a screenshot in this presentation, this is one of the times to take a screenshot of it. So LinkedIn company pages always have information. It goes out to their website, goes out to their social media from there, which next column, their Instagram, their Facebook. You can find emails there for people. Eventbrite and meetup.com. Oh, find the people organizing those events. Get some of those email addresses. Say, hey, we've got a really fun way to bring your team together, to bring your group together for something awesome. Local business directories, chambers of commerce, have a lot of people as well. Professional associations, alumni associations, Google Map, looking up the companies in your area on Google Maps, going to their websites, finding an email address, and starting to reach out that way. I'm not necessarily saying, hey, go get 10,000 emails and buy a list. I'm saying in this case, let's actually make it a smaller set of the people that you're going to email, but make it more specific and more direct with the stuff that you're going to send them. And again, know that what you're sending is valuable to them. And so when we look at writing a great cold email, I'm going to give you an example here as well. There's some concepts I want you to keep in mind at the setting of a cold email. Number one, keep it short. Keep it really short. In case I didn't say that well enough, keep it really short. I think one of the stereotypical things that we can first recognize in a spam email when we get it is 3 paragraphs long and them trying to give us all their credentials and them talking about themselves the whole time. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep it short. No one wants a novel. Be clear, be benefit focused, lead with how you're solving that problem. Use a little bit of social proof in there as well. Let's give them something to help them trust you with that email, also what you've done. And I always want to end these emails with a yes or no question that's easy enough for them to respond back to and just say yes or just say no. Don't use open-ended questions. Don't ask for too much either. That here I kind of put that example question of, can I send you more information? Easier to say yes to than if that question had been, can we get on a call to talk about this? Ooh, ooh, you want to get on a call from a cold email? Easy. Let's slow it down a little bit there. So make that question that you're putting out there something that's easy, yes or no question that they can respond back to. And we don't want that what they have to do to feel so heavy on them. So another spot, take a little screenshot here. Example cold email. Subject line, new 2025 team outings in whatever your city name is. And then a short little email that says why you're reaching out, what your offer is, and what we want them to do next. So here we've broken that down real simple. This is why I'm reaching out. We worked with a great team experience they loved. If you're looking for a unique outing, we'd love to help you plan it. Would it be okay if I sent you over more information about our team outings? Again, we're not asking for the call. We're not asking for anything too big. We're telling them that this is new stuff and team outings in their city, so it's personalized a little bit further to them. Can't wait to see you use this. Please, please screenshot this, copy this, take this out there, go back to that list of all the people I told you to go get some cold email addresses from, hit the ground running, and then send me an email and let me know how it's going. I think you're going to get some good leads from it. But this is not a one size fits all solution. If I had the magic cold email that you could send that would work 100% of the time, oh, I'd be living it up in Beverly Hills right now instead of freezing Chicago, but we got our Green River. But these emails, they need to be tested over time, see what works, see what doesn't work, see how people respond back to it. But this is at least a starting point and kind of a formula here for you behind the scenes to get started with this. Get started with it. Again, a lot of tours aren't doing this kind of cold emailing, and it's something you can start doing on that group side to start building up. And when you go to write some of these, I want to give you one more little tool here. And this is something called the email subject line tester. So it has some qualifications inside of there and a great tool for anytime you go to send out an email. Use this, go to this site, amdescend.com/subject line tester. You can type in your subject line and hit a test and then see what score it gives you. And it's going to look for things like how long is this title? Do you have any numbers in it? Is it personalized to the person? And so it'll help you write some better subject lines when you're going to send stuff out. Because again, as I mentioned at the beginning, we know those subject lines are going to get read. When we have someone's email address, when we can show up in their email inbox, we know they're going to see what that line is on that subject line. So it's a chance to entice them to get them to take that next step, which in their case is clicking on that email, reading through what you have, and then taking that call to action on the email. So hit them with good subject lines. Next up, automations. I want to touch on automations here. What you're missing with automations. They're your 24/7 sales assistant. Automations do the work for you. And what I've seen is a lot of operators go in, set them up, forget them, and just leave them alone. I don't want you to do that. I want you to relook at some of those emails, especially as we're going to talk about in the post-purchase process, that some of those small updates can turn a thank you email into that next big booking. We don't just want to say thank you. We want to say a little more. We want to push some of those ideas. And this is something that, especially Rezgo, makes it really easy to go through and edit those automated emails and add a little bit of this personalization that we're going to talk about into some of that follow-up. So what I want you to look at adding into your Rezgo automations here. I want you to encourage rebooking. I want to have something in there that says, hey, do you want to get together and do this? We'd love to host you again. Let's put that idea in their head. A lot of times those post-purchase emails are really just used to try and push for reviews. We can do a little more with them. Let's ask, let's try to get that next booking from them if we can as well. I also want to make sure that you're highlighting group options inside of those post follow-ups email. Do they know that they can book you for a private event, either while they're still in town or if they're local, so they can do it another time? Make sure that we know that they know what we're selling and what you have to offer inside of these post-purchase ones. I'd love to see asking for a referral as well of, hey, is there someone else you know that may be planning an event? Can you send this email to them? Let's not be afraid to ask for what we want someone to do, and let's put it out there. The worst they can do is not even say no. They'll just delete the email. It's not like they're going to get personally offended and never recommend your company again because you asked for a referral. Let's ask that referral. Let's see what that can do for us. And then I'd love to see a soft CTA in there as well of linking out to your corporate groups page, to your private experiences page, or encouraging them to simply, hey, reply to this email. Reply back to us. Look, we're making it so easy for you to get in touch with us. Just hit reply and send us back what you're looking for. And these little things can help beef up some of those automations that you already have set up in the Rezgo system to, again, start turning some of those past bookings into a future booking. Let's use this post-event process, the post-event emails to do even more for us than they may have been doing before. So I hope you're starting to see here some different ways that we can use email marketing to kind of grow some of those group bookings. Yeah, small changes, small changes. So thanks. Let's do it again. Last big topic here, re-engagement of going back after someone who's already come from you. that we can send another email to try and get them to then book with us. So some of the perks of being a re-engager. That's what I'd like you to be. Please join me on this re-engagement. Label yourself a re-engager, get yourself a nice little re-engager badge, and jump at it. Benefits, they already know you. They already trust your business, which is one of the biggest obstacles that so many companies need to overcome is getting someone to trust them to begin with. But when you're re-engaging someone, they already know you. And I know you provide a great experience. So they already had a great experience with you as well. They remember joy and fun and laughter. Gorgeous. Let's use that and re-engage them again, because this is less effort than trying to acquire someone new. And it's the ability to personalize with names and experiences. And then we can even offer loyalty perks to get someone to that second booking. I see a lot of times that websites love to give you a pop-up as soon as you land on that website, and it'll say something like, hey, enter your email for 10% off. Problem with that is we haven't given anyone a chance to understand your value yet. So 10% off of something they don't understand doesn't mean much. It's not an influencer. It's not something that's going to impact that sales process of thinking this is a piece of value because they don't know what that value is yet. But when we re-engage, when we follow up and it's something someone has already done, now we can hit them with offers like that. Now they understand the value and they know what 10% off means. They know what a buy 8 tickets, get one free or get two free. They know the value of that now. They have to understand that value first, which is one of the huge benefits of being able to go through and re-engage. I wanted to give a little re-engagement email example here. Something like, are you ready for round two? Tested that subject line through that subject line tester tool, another 100% headline, which is what we're looking for when you send those out. And this one, real simple. And again, following some of those concepts from that cold email of keeping it short. Let's end with that yes or no question. And here, let's have this little bit of, here's our offer. Here's the benefits of doing this as well. Real short, real small things we can send out there to just follow back up with people. So if you have that list of private groups or corporate groups that you may have hosted previously, use this as the opportunity to take this email and re-engage with some of those groups. It's one of the best ways to start to get into some immediate revenue from email marketing is through re-engagement. Friends, that's what we have on this Rezgo webinar here. So moving up, we talked about segmentation, we talked about cold outreach, we looked at automations and improving some automations. And then here at the end, we talked about re-engagement. So Rezgo, thank you again. Welcome back.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. That was really engaging. And the entire time I was thinking, okay, how am I going to set this up in new accounts that are going live for the summer? So I have 2 comments, if you don't mind me taking a bit of your
Yeah.
time up. The first thing I wanted to comment on, obviously, is just shifting that mindset from cold emails being annoying to inviting is just a really nice thing to note. So thank you for even bringing that to my attention, just kind of changing how to approach that. And then secondly, is how much is too much. If you're looking at re-engaging with a customer who's already attended, an activity with you, and you're setting up an email to follow up, try to get them to re-engage, what's the limit, I guess?
I like to keep it within that 3 to 5 email range. Of course,
Okay.
that also depends on the amount of time and how long it's been since you've emailed them. And for
Yeah.
a lot of that, I just want you to put yourself in their shoes.
Hmm.
And a lot of times we send those emails from our shoes and think, oh, I'm interrupting them. Like, oh, I'm doing this. But a lot
Yeah.
of times they're just busy and they've missed it. And what
Hmm.
you're providing is truly valuable. So don't be afraid to hit them up again with it.
Okay. Okay. I think that's something, even as an account manager, I can increase my recommendation, right? Because it's always 1 or 2, but why not do 3 to 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. We don't have any questions in the chat, so I will let everyone go back to their day a little bit early. You will be getting the recording after this. So again, thank you, Joe, for joining us. This was truly a treat. Yeah, and we will be in touch soon. Okay, bye everyone.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.